alright, I think we're streaming. Yep, we're good. We're officially streaming on that. And then everything is ready for this. I have... Let's check OBS. Yep, I have that going on. Did you see the GPL banner?
Yeah.
Just
I've got
making
it.
sure.
I see the GPL banner on this.
Okay, so that's good. That's what I want so far, just for a starter.
Yeah.
And then here, I'll show you the other two. I got this, and then I got this. Yeah, so we got all that. Yeah, just make the announcement whenever you're ready. I'm not just kind of.
Hold on. I'll just get the description set and everything. Hold up.
All right. I couldn't upload a banner from here, so if you want to.
Nah, that's fine. I'll just say that. Alright, I'll make an announcement. Podcast Live talking about potential expansion, upcoming games, and prospects.
I forgot about the potential expansion that we were talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm calling that potential expansion your prospect league.
Yeah. I honestly think if we're getting as big as we are, as fast as we are, we might need to expand teams in Season 2.
Yeah, I mean, for my league, I think definitely, because every team being full is good, but I'm like, I want, like, more teams, so there's more, like, parity.
Yeah, I would maybe start with 12 or 14, depending on what you're feeling.
I'll think about it for next season. I don't know yet how much we want to do. Well, I want to do, because I need to create teams and everything.
Yeah. Or worst comes to worst, we pull the RFL way and just make everyone do the work for us, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I do, personally.
Join. I'll say everyone can join channel 2 if you want to speak.
Yeah.
If you...
But we get to mute you just because we want to.
Thoughts?
Alright, well. Thankfully, I used to be a radio commentator, so I kind of know what I'm doing. Sort of.
That is good.
Kinda. So I actually used to run a podcast as well. So, interesting story. Let me just pull up YouTube on my computer. Just in case. 3 people are already watching. Look at that. We are getting viewers, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know if this was going to be an absolute failure. The Wolf of Athens, Millionaire Vibes, Kev, Amani, this is not a check-in. Bro, I love you. This is not a check-in.
I mean, we could have check-ins with this.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's do it. I did say every live we could do.
Let's do it. You know what? Let's do it. We're gonna allow check-ins. I wanna see how interesting this can get. And Nick Brewer's in here. Oh, I accidentally just checked him out.
Left.
My bad, Nick. So let's talk about it. You want to start with team rankings, I guess? Because I think that's the most disputed that we had between each other.
I mean, yeah.
Because this was conversations about this.
Especially Aqua.
So, I honestly, this was my thing about it. Gotta switch the... Whoops. I firmly believe in the number 1 and number 2 position. I believe you 100% got right. Shanghai and Moscow. Two teams that impressed me the most, 100% were Shanghai and Moscow. The only thing I'm putting Sao Paulo with the 3 and moving Sydney down to 4.
Yeah. I mean, I see it. The main reason I thought I was generous in giving Sao Paulo a +6 because they were what? I'm pretty sure they were ranked 9.
They were ranked dead last.
They were ranked bottom.
They were ranked dead last.
They're ranked bottom for overall, and their overall is the lowest combined overall compared to every team in the league. So they literally are underdogs. So it's really just play style, which is like, you know.
I mean, Munich's was the highest, and no one expected them to lose.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think Munich were going to lose either, I'm going to be honest. I thought Munich was going to be really good. But they just didn't seem to, like, they didn't seem to gel too well. Like, they're all good players, but, like...
Yeah, I think there's going to possibly be...
I was disappointed.
I think there's going to be a book change for them, possibly. There was talks about... Because I think there was they were asking about the rule for the book changes, and I definitely think that's gonna come. And they have a very big game this week too. They have a decent game this week. I mean, but the only reason I love Sydney, but Sao Paulo has the win. Sydney did lose to Shanghai, so that's the only reason. I think they are gonna bounce back against, unfortunately, Africa. And unfortunately, I have to say that, but...
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the reason why Sydney only moved down one spot for me is because they kept it close to Shanghai, and I think as we continue on a couple of weeks, people will realize how much better Shanghai are compared to every other team. I thought Munich would be able to contest them, but we'll see if Munich can get themselves together and collect themselves for week 2.
I mean, let's see if Shanghai wins the battle.
Shanghai have Tokyo this week, which that will also be interesting.
That is...
But because Tokyo are a very defensive team.
Absolutely.
And Shanghai not so much.
Yeah, I mean, it can go either way. I still have Shanghai winning it, but I think Tokyo can keep it decently close in this game. I have faith in Tokyo.
Yeah.
One team I do not have faith in at all is Paris. No faith in them at all. Sorry, Ken. I'm sorry, DeAndre.
Yeah, Paris. I mean, look, their first game it was bad, but again, I don't know how many of the people in here have actually looked at the rules, because I have added in a couple rules since we started the regular season. So I've got the players can decommit once to their career, but must have other offers on the table. Nelly Miller did that. He was on Shanghai and then he left and joined Munich. And I've also got teams can change their game plan once every 10 games.
Yeah.
So in everyone's locker rooms, just say what playbook you want and I'll change it to that. Of course, once every 10 games. So that's once every 10 weeks. So make sure you're, not doing
it's basically hastily. Once every season. If you do want it.
It's basically at most twice a season.
Yeah. Personally, I think the two teams that really need to change the game plan is Munich and Paris, because Munich has dominant guards, is an all-around amazing team, but they were only running through 2 people, and that was, who was it? It was Cartier.
Caicedo and Miller.
It was Caicedo and Miller. Stickles did have 15, but you also had Zaza Earl that only had 7. And he's a good scorer from what I remember. So I think that if you want to integrate him more into your process, I think they would win more games. But... Yeah,
and I mean, because as you said, I mean, their top 3 players, top 3 players that had the ball the most, Caicedo, Miller, and Theo, they all took, I think, over double the shots of everyone else on the team combined.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps more so because their playbook isn't towards bigs. And I mean, it was their point guard, shooting guard, and small forward that was scoring, which is what you want, really.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I would like them to perhaps go to Kyler McConnell a little bit more. And Eric Ashley. Both their power forwards didn't really see a lot of the ball. And Kyler McConnell, I know he can shoot. He's got the stretch for his position. And he's just a big body. Same with EA, Eric Ashley. Both of them really good fours. They didn't really get involved a lot, and like you said, Zaza, he didn't miss a shot. He was 3 for 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had 7 points, 13 boards, so he was amazing. But
I think we all remember what Kyler did to that poor guy in the prospect runs. That is something that I will never forget, because that is the first time I've ever seen that in 2K Sim history, and I've been doing this since December. So that was interesting to me. So I think we've all kind of agreed on the team rankings. If anyone wants to jump in real quick, say what they got to say. A minute.
If you want to come in and join, anyone in the chat, just join Channel 2.
Channel 2 is fine.
You can voice your opinions.
Yeah. Which I think that's going to be
another thing. I want to talk about Aqua's rankings real quick. Because,
here we go.
Because me and him's rankings are, vastly different. And I'm also, he has good reasons for every single one. He went into really good detail for each team.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing which I soundly disagree, which people from Athens won't like to hear, he put Athens at 2. I think Athens beating Paris shouldn't put them up from 7 to 2.
I mean...
they were expected to win that in my books. It was the 7 and 8 seed, so it wasn't a blowout it was.
Absolutely.
But they were expected to win it. So that's why I didn't have the move. And so Barcelona. I didn't move Barcelona either because I'm just like, well, they're expected to beat Africa.
Hurt,
and they did beat Africa.
Well, so. Hurt, but, it's okay.
Yeah.
But, so, I think definitely the number one thing, and this is what interested me the most, is how low he put Tokyo, which was interesting to me, is because Tokyo put a decent performance on. I don't think they are as low as what he's giving them credit for. I also think Athens, no offense, you beat a bad team by 20. That's not that you were expected to win that game any day of the week. But I think that I also don't like Barca being that high. But other than that, his, mid-card, maybe move Munich. I think Moscow should definitely be higher. Because, for someone we will be talking about in a minute, that put on a absolute show again for Moscow. And overall, I think he had great reasons, but I think that in the next few weeks he'll see why maybe Athens isn't as high as he put them originally.
Or perhaps they'll prove me absolutely wrong and roll all the competition.
I mean,
which I would love to see. I would love to be proved wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who are they playing this week? They're playing...
I'll quickly check it.
Athens is playing Moscow.
So this is definitely them proving themselves. If they beat Moscow, then I'm really going to have a good look, and Aqua definitely saw that.
Yeah, I definitely think that is going to be the most interesting game this week. I definitely think game of the week is going to be Athens-Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
I think another one that people really should keep their eye on is Shanghai-Tokyo.
Battle for Asia. Shanghai versus Tokyo.
I mean, depending on what we're calling Asia, because there is some talks about, we'll get into that later, some expansion in future. Me and you have been talking about.
Well, I mean, with my league especially, I mean, 10 teams is good for now, but I mean, just for the fact that every team is full, and people, of course, we've got 10 people waiting for season 2 or whatever.
And I have people asking me about it.
Yeah, which RyZe also going to talk about that. So I think I will add in 2 extra teams. I think we'll only need 2 for this next season. Perhaps depending how many new joins we get in the off season, I'll probably prepare about, I think, 4 teams I'm going to prepare. And then I'll roll out the expansion teams either all at once, depending on how many people we get during the off season, or over the next 2 seasons.
I also heard a rumor that we were expanding into North America for the first time.
Yes. Oh, yeah, right. North America, because, I mean...
Yep, he went out. Yep. Anyway, what he was saying is North America definitely does deserve teams. His mic went out for some reason. I'll just let it happen. I definitely think that North America especially, it's something I will be talking about 100% later, is that North America definitely deserves teams that are one of the largest sports capitals in the world. I mean, a lot of us are from North America, for an exception of a few people, that I think North America definitely deserves that team of, let's see.
My headset disconnected. My fault.
That's what I was. So go on what you were saying. I was just saying that North America does deserve teams 100%. Especially.
Okay, damn. It cut out just as I was talking about that. I just. Never mind. Yeah, so we're going to have 2 teams probably expanding from North America. Especially the US, because, I mean, it makes no sense to have a global league and then not have any teams represent the biggest basketball country in the world. Absolutely. So we'll have 2 teams, expansion teams, that will both be from the US, that will probably guaranteed to be put in.
I know there's 2... There's the 2 we've already made. I don't know what you're doing on your side. I know what the other ones are.
Well, I mean, that's more so for your kind of league.
Yeah.
That's what...
Yeah.
Those are 4. So I don't know what cities I'll do. Oh, I mean, I might even do the same cities, but it'll just be you know, the feeder team into it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or,
I was going to say do Los Angeles.
I'm planning a draft.
Los Angeles, maybe?
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Definitely West Coast. Like LA, probably a team. Well, I mean, what's a good thing? Los Angeles definitely needs a team at some point, so might as well give it to them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then East Coast. I mean, we could do Chicago because then that's also different from.
Another really good basketball one is in Florida. Anything in Florida? I mean, they have 3 teams
Miami
in real
team,
life.
an Orlando team.
Miami, Orlando, Tampa, even.
True.
We all forget about Tampa, unfortunately. But Jacksonville, maybe even Jacksonville at this point. You know what? Represent the Jaguars from the NFL. Give them a team.
Yeah, we'll just straight rip them off.
Absolutely. Right? Wouldn't be the first time I've done something like that. We don't talk about that. So let's go into the prospects of... We got the first top 10, and I think there was a lot... We talked this over before we did this. And there was a lot of agreement going into the prospects. I mean, the only one that we really disagreed on was that number 10 spot. That I said it should be Benson. But then you also gave me the reasons, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah. I mean, Xavier Benson, off the bench points are great, but all the bench players, all the 6 men, it's all their stats will be inflated by quite a bit compared to everyone else, because they are facing that with a second unit, so they're facing generics all the time. So they 5 to 6 overalls higher than everyone they're facing on the court right now. Of course, there's the other 6 man in the other team. That's still 1 out of the other 4. So most bench players, bench points, I would take as a viewer and as a player as if they move to a starter, they won't be like Benson. If Benson was starting over Eddie, for example, not that he's gonna, but say Benson was starting over Eddie, he probably wouldn't get 18 points on 7 for 9 shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he'd miss a lot more because he's being guarded by Theo Stickles instead of, I don't know, their bench point guard, whatever the Munich bench point guard is.
Yeah, I mean, and we can't go without saying that the number 1 was obviously undisputed. Larry James happened. And I don't think he's still my front runner for MVP. I definitely it was either him or D'Angelo Watkins was also on my list for people to watch out for. Tony A-Train was definitely up there. He had a down week for Shanghai, even though they did get the win. But the only other thing that I would change in these player rankings is Caicedo. I gotta move him to the 2. He had an overall better stat line to me. And
yeah, I completely hear that. I mean, it's more so how I decide to rank it, which was a bit inconsistent, and I will iron out how I do my rankings. But the reason why I had Nelly Miller at 2 is because previously last week he was already ranked at the number 2 top prospect pre-season. And I was just like, well, we know he's going to be consistently good. So I might as well, and he had a performance that kept up his number 2 rating, is what I felt was needed. Well, Caicedo, he was kind of a sleep. Well, he was definitely a sleeper. I didn't think Caicedo was going to drop 27 in his first game, but so I think that's more so Caicedo being unranked than jumping all the way up to 3. Absolutely. But me saying that's not me being consistent then across the entire board, because I kind of did the top prospects this week, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did it as the top performers from week 1, rather than basing it off of the preseason rankings as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we know players like Tony A-Train, we know players like Patrick Vince, Amon Wolf, like Eli Carter even, who for Paris didn't have that great of a first game, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Like Ansu Yi, all these type of players that were ranked highly in the preseason because their overalls are the highest in the league. You know these guys are going to come back.
Yeah.
Especially players like Tony A-Train. It's more so a case. The only thing that's holding Tony A-Train back from scoring more is his teammates, because they're gonna have the ball just as much as he does or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just not for the fact that he can't score more. It's because he's got 4 other teammates that can score just or almost as good as he does.
Yeah.
So we perhaps won't see it directly in his stats, but I think Tony A-Train's probably the best player in this. He's got the best 3-point in the league by a long shot.
I think he's gonna definitely take a step up. I don't think he was probably happy with that week 1 performance. That I definitely think he's gonna be one of those players that is gonna step up. D'Angelo Watkins is definitely gonna need to step up for Sydney if they want to stay irrelevancy of, okay, we're going to see how are you guys going to do within the rest of the season. And a lot of teams, Africa, for example, they had, I'm forgetting my own teammates' names. That's crazy. They had
J.J. Watkins,
Cade Hannibal, Amani Ant stepped up, but they also need people like J.J. Wilson, Tyreek Wells, Anthony Paul. Those guys need to step up on the other side, and I definitely think they are probably working on that. Talking about, okay, how are we going to make this team more, like, not just ran through 2 players, and more of how can we get the whole team involved. Because I think,
and I'm sure that's a good question that a lot of every team will probably be asking. Well, a lot of the teams that did lose probably had the same issue. They're only running through 2 players. But yeah, go on, what were you gonna
say? The only one that really got bit by that was Munich, because they only had 2 players score over 16. Theo did what he had to do. He did drop 15 points, but I think if you distribute the ball more, I think you're going to be okay with that. But, so that's pretty much it for the prospect rankings, talking about that. We did talk about Xavier's rankings. If anyone wants to jump in, let us know what we're thinking.
Well, I mean, something interesting with what we could do next season is I might implement a draft, so kind of change completely how each team does their recruitment. Because I mean, with your league, that will be implemented at some point during the season.
Absolutely.
Which you can of course talk about in a second. With that being implemented, now we've got that, we could probably just do a draft, and then teams like Paris will perhaps get a couple picks to move them up. But it'll be interesting to do a draft. We'll probably need more teams because, again, every team is full right now. And that's not going to change next season, and we've got these players coming in.
Well, it depends, because teams like Africa are all on 1-year deals. So I think some of these 1-year teams, Africa, and I think a couple other teams might split up. And I don't see every team... 100%. A couple of teams, I know people aren't happy with the production of what they are getting. So I think it might be... this offseason is going to be very interesting in the fact of who is going to go where. And just see what happens. I'm definitely interested. Yeah. And another massive change to this offseason, I guess I'll talk about this now since you kind of hinted at it. We are implementing, during the mid-season, we are implementing our first prospect league. We have 6 teams, I think we said we're doing.
Yeah, I think 6 teams.
At least for the start, I think 6 teams is going to go well.
Yeah, of course.
So that is going to be ran by me. There's going to be definitely more details on that soon. I can tell you 2 teams that I am willing to say are Boston, and then the absolute greatest logo I've ever produced, Lagos Lions 2.
Yeah.
That was...
I mean, do we want to do a full team reveal? But we do have the logos for
I can... Let me show the logos. You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
So we got Boston.
For a couple.
So this is Boston's. So we got Boston. Forget what we named it. Boston something.
Yeah, hold on. I got the full names because they are in the prospect league. I kind of named them like they're kind of...
I was going to say, you texted them to me.
Yeah, so it's the Boston Institute of Sport is the Boston team.
Yep. And then we also have the New York Academy. I know that one. And then Lagos. So we got Lagos 2, which is... This logo is just... Yes. Thank you, Bing AI, for everything you've ever done to me.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite logos, especially for the Lions have a second team. So it'd be interesting if we could do something with the players of the second team if Africa gets a preference to those first players, because it is their second team.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other one that I made today is Prague City. It's definitely going to be a fun team to watch. I think the Czech Republic is going to be represented well with this team. And then where's the other one that I did? because I did the Korea one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Korea Zombies. I did this a while back. Before anybody asks, yes, this is based off the Korean Zombie. So those are the 5 teams we have right now. There's another team that we haven't made a logo for yet, I don't think.
I think we're missing Buenos Aires. So the last one is Buenos Aires, which that's, of course, South America.
Yeah.
And, there hasn't been a logo made for that one
so
yet.
Definitely something to be excited about for that. Of this Prospect League. More information is going to come out with that soon. Me and him are still, obviously, smoothing out.
We're still talking. We're still, figuring out exactly what it can be. Because I think it's going to be great, especially for the people that are right now with the... that are on the wait list, because I think we've got 10-ish people that are waiting right now for Season 2.
Yeah.
And those people can instantly be put into your Prospect League just mid-season. Yeah. And even if it doesn't have a lot of players, there's 9 people on the Season 2 wait list.
I mean, I don't think, and I think that number's going to go up once we start talking more about...
Actually promoting.
Actually start promoting. I don't think one of us were expecting to get full as fast as we did.
100%. Because, I mean, we haven't really done any promoting on...
I did, Instagram. One server.
Yeah,
I did one server. And I think that that server is not even really active like that. But we did, one server. And it honestly... I'm very surprised, and I'm also very happy to see how big this league has become. I'm very appreciative for everything that has come for this league. But... I just know that we aren't done yet, and we got a lot more in store. Me and him are talking about stuff to do every day, basically.
This league's only going to grow from here, especially, Absolutely. And with RyZe's Prospect League that we're going to implement, it'll be a great way to watch the young players. And it will definitely add, I mean, I guess everyone that's already in the league kind of missed out on that part. But we'll add in other things, like something that what Patrick Vince was really pushing for was have a World Cup. At the end of the off season.
So this is not a promotion because you actually do have to pay to get in this league. So I am in something called Gold Standard Basketball. Well, I'm not in it. I don't pay the subscription. I'm just there to make sure promote it when I want to. And so they do a World Cup actually. And it's actually FIBA. They do, which is very interesting, and I've always liked
that's what I was thinking of doing.
Nice little FIBA, that'd be fun. Maybe even the Olympics and World Cup would be the same thing. So yeah, I can honestly say that this league, especially because originals that me and Max are great working together, that we are definitely cooking up. So don't worry, this league's only gonna grow, and it's just gonna get better and better within weeks.
I'm really excited to see, and of course I'm gonna implement so we implement the FIBA World Cup, and it's just what's the question of how we want to do people so they're spread out, because of course I think most people put their birthplace someplace in the US. Now of course that's fine, except the World Cup then will be spread where the US has every player, and then there'll be one player in Croatia with Patrick Vince, and there'll be one player in Israel with Ethan or something.
Isn't that what it is in real life?
I know, but I meant for the sake of actually fielding a tournament, because right now it'll be 60 players in the US, and then
yeah, I mean, I think
10.
I think dual citizenship might come into play, because
I was thinking is that whatever team that you play for, that you whatever. So say people that play for Shanghai, they have a choice to represent China at the World Cup if they want to, or people that play at Tokyo, they have a choice to represent Japan.
I was even gonna say, especially if someone of the name of Anthony Paul might want to go play for Italy, because that's where.
Yeah, exactly. Once it actually this isn't gonna happen until the off season, so that's
Absolutely.
A couple months away.
Yeah.
But when we get there, I'll probably do something where because everyone did their birthplace without thinking of for a World Cup. So of course, I'll be like, do you want to have a secondary citizenship or whatever? And then we'll make it.
Yep.
You can choose to represent, I don't know, and then I'll have like a list of 10 to 15 countries that will be in the World Cup, and players can just choose what country they want to be at.
Yeah, we might just want to do Africa as just one country instead of trying to.
True. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but I mean. We could probably do Nigeria, maybe, because, I mean, your prospect team, the Lagos Lions, is literally in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we could do, like, Nigeria and Cameroon.
Yeah,
probably.
Like I said, guys, this is, like we just said, that this is all still in the works. We don't exactly know what we're doing yet, but we're talking like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, no, like, this is literally just us talking about it right now for the first time, really. So
this is the first time I'm actually even hearing about this, so I'm just gonna go with it. I do love the idea. Shout out to PV for giving us that idea.
Yeah, no, PV was all for it.
So, and I think we should definitely recap off, because I just obviously put up the Match Week 2 GPL Global schedule, and I think it would not be fair. It wouldn't be a podcast without making some predictions on who's going to win this week.
100%.
So I think let's start from top to bottom. So we're going to go Moscow and Athens. I'm interested to hear your take on this, because I know you like both.
I mean, look, first of all, I would love to see if Aqua was had the seeing eye that just knew that Athens was going to be this good. I would love to see if Athens pull off what I would say big upset. I mean, if you're going by Aqua's rankings, it's not an upset. But I would say Athens versus Moscow. Athens are definitely the big underdogs there, and Moscow, which I think are some of my favorites to win everything. I do have Moscow for this game. I do think Moscow will win this. I think it's I think Moscow should be really disappointed in themselves if they lose to Athens. Athens is a really balanced team, but so is Moscow, and I think Moscow are just flat out just better, especially Larry James after the performance he had. And of course, if previous in the DBA, we saw how good Tyrese McGrady could be, how good Patrick Vince could be, and those players were like a non-factor in their first game. So I just think Moscow has too many weapons that Athens, I don't think, can really stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Moscow as well. One person that I was very surprised to see that really hasn't showed up for Athens that I thought was going to, Rayshawn Baxter. I don't know exactly. I know he was good in DEBA. I obviously wasn't in it due to a certain somebody. So I think that if Athens wants to say, hey, we're this contender, we deserve to be where Aqua said we were, or we deserve to be higher than what Max said we were, I think this is the big step one to either beat them or just keep this close. Because Moscow is dominant. There's not a question in my mind that Moscow is just a dominant team. But so let's talk great opinions on that one. So we're gonna do Sao Paulo, Paris. I think we both have the same answer on that one. Sorry.
Sao Paulo by 50, damn.
That's being generous. Paris, you know I love you. It's not gonna happen. Not your night.
But I mean, look, a couple of Paris guys are active. I would be interested to see if they changed their playbook after that first game, because again, it was really just two players that were shooting all the shots. I would like to see Eli Carter get more involved, because Eli has definitely got a couple upgrades in previously from the DBA, and I know what Eli can do, what he was doing in the college program there. And now Paris, he kind of didn't really touch the ball too much in the first game. He got 9 points, but it was 9 points kind of just off the catch and shoot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to look, even if Paris get all their get their playbook done, get everyone involved, I still think just for the skill gap in general, I think that Paris does have their work cut out for them. Sao Paulo, I think if this game is close and end up losing this, fraud watch. They beat Munich, who was supposed to be one of the better teams in the league.
So what does that say more? Paris. Does that say more about Sao Paulo or Munich? Let's see.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because, and I am one to admit this, and Max, you probably remember this. Before I started recording that game, I said Munich by 50. Not even gonna happen. Yeah. And then I texted you when that ended. I was like, So that just happened?
Yeah. So Sao Paulo shocked. It's definitely me and RyZe last week and kind of the whole league with their win over Munich. So I think I've got Sao Paulo against Paris. I think Sao Paulo have got this.
So I think this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Munich versus Barcelona. I think you're going to be shocked with what I say.
I mean, I'll let you go first because I've gone first.
So this is my first Stephen A. Smith pick. I made the Stephen A. Smith joke when this was announced, obviously. Give me Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona, damn.
And I mean, especially for the person who played against them. I can speak from experience that Barcelona is not a team to mess with, especially with the name of someone named Bam Bam Rubel and Chris Tan. Those two, I don't know what in God's name happened, but those two both dropped 22. I think if Pinkard gets a little more involved, maybe even Harker and another player that didn't have a great performance, but I can see him making a comeback, Ethan Daniel. So I have Barcelona upsetting Munich, and that's my upset pick.
Right now my rankings got Munich at 8, Barca at 6. So I think Barca should win this.
Barca probably should win this, but like we said earlier, Munich might not want, like, maybe there's changes in Munich that haven't come to light yet for any of us.
Look, I mean, Munich, of course, they had a bad performance first week, but I think now, as I said Barca should win this. My pick is Munich. I think Munich. I think they're going to bounce back after the first week. I think all of them were really disappointed with themselves with how that turned out. And I think if they do end up changing their playbook, I think it'll be a really good decision for them. And I think that they could definitely... I don't know if we call it upset because it is a 6 and 8 seed. So they are very close. But I do have Munich over Barcelona. I think they're going to get their stuff together. I think Nelly Miller and Caicedo will continue their performance. I think they'll try and get their bigs more involved. And I don't know. I have success for Munich. I think Munich got Barca.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So this next one, I said it was going to be interesting. Tokyo, Shanghai. I still have Shanghai winning. Because it's Shanghai. The Shanghai Penguins will strike again, as a couple people of us would say. Tokyo, you're a great team and all that, but Shanghai is, from what I understand, leaps and bounds better than everybody else. It's like the Patriots in the 2000s. It's just, don't even try. Yeah. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Definitely Patriots 2000s. One thing I was gonna say though, how unlucky of Tokyo being with their first 2 games, Moscow and Shanghai, to start off their season.
Oh yeah, that's
very unlucky
for
horrible.
Tokyo. That's horrible. Poor Tokyo. Hey, you know what? I don't know if we've decided on the playoffs yet or how we're doing that. But Tokyo, I got my beliefs in you. But it's just not your week. We all know what's going to happen next. But and then of course Africa and Sydney. I don't think I'm allowed to comment on this one.
I mean, you could do prediction, but you're a team member for Africa. So
yeah, give me Africa. Like
Sydney
what?
Would be pretty sad.
Give me Africa. So I definitely think Africa. We did not have a great performance against Barcelona. I think with the changes for J.J. Wilson, Anthony Paul definitely hit the gym a couple times, made that boy run suicides. So we're going to definitely think of that, but I think Africa's going to put the massive upset on Sydney. Just saying. No bias.
Have to say that.
No bias, of course. No bias.
Look, I mean, Africa's got their work cut out for them. And it's funny this week, there aren't too many close matchups. I mean, Moscow-Athens, I think, would be one to watch. But a lot of these matchups, it's kind of... I mean, Munich, Barcelona, and Moscow, Athens are probably going to be the two closest games for the week. I do have Sydney over Africa for the last game, and I do think I have Sydney by quite a bit, because I don't see Cade Hannibal doing too well against D'Angelo Watkins, the defensive side. And, I mean, they do have Amani Ant and Cade Hannibal that'll be on Watkins, and I think it's just a matter of slowing down D'Angelo and just getting a hand in his face. So I don't really see Cade, especially because Cade isn't really too much of a defensive player, and neither is... I mean, Amani Ant does have a little bit of defense, but he won't be on Watkins too much. So I think Sydney have probably got this. Not by a lot. I'm gonna go Sydney by probably 10. So it's not gonna be a blowout. I think Africa keep it close because their scoring is just... Like, Africa's offense is probably one of the better offenses in the entire league.
Absolutely.
Like, the way they put up points against Barcelona in the first game is ridiculous. Like, I can't remember the final score, but I remember thinking, especially at the time, that if they put up that many points against any other team, it would have been a win. Yeah, but it's just because it was against Barcelona, who's probably... If Africa's second best offense, Barcelona perhaps is number one offense. But of course, if we're excluding Shanghai, because they're probably number one in every category.
Yeah, I think especially that their point guard, Anthony Paul, needs to take a massive step on the defensive side. That I know he did. He definitely put in an upgrade. He did put on a bronze badge for defense. I did put that. So I think that maybe these other changes will help Africa maybe say, hey, we are still a contender to place second, because we all know who's placing first.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna run that joke to the ground until they win. So it's just...
I mean, it would be interesting to see, because we could just eat our words. Because Tokyo, Ansu Yi, for Tokyo, he is the third highest overall in the entire league, behind Watkins and A-Train. So if Ansu Yi really dominates, but I mean, he's been guarded by Finn Fowler, and Finn Fowler is probably another... I think Finn Fowler is just behind Ansu Yi for the highest rated big.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see that matchup, but Ansu Yi does have the height over Finn Fowler by, I think, 3 inches. Ansu Yi's 7'3", Finn Fowler's just 7 foot. So perhaps that extra height could be an Ansu Yi. Might find it... I don't know. Ansu Yi, I expect big things of him, because he kind of had a quiet game, first game. I say quiet. I think he dropped 16 or something. Yeah, so absolutely. It wasn't like a bad game, but it was like I kind of hoped he would score about 20-ish. And the first game, he had 16, 9 boards, 2 blocks, only missed 2 shots. So that's like an elite performance from any big. I think it's one of the better performances.
That is still a very good stat line.
Oh, and another one from Tokyo. Sorry to keep talking about Tokyo, but Sam Sharkey, out of nowhere, 23 points, 9 assists from a small forward position. Like, 9 assists from a wing is crazy. Yeah, like, he was getting everyone involved. And I just didn't expect Sam Sharkey to go off for 20 on his first game, especially surrounded by JJ Harris and Michael Simmons, especially. I thought they would score a little bit more than they did.
Well, you know what? They are definitely going to have their work cut out for them this week against, arguably the greatest team in this league, the Shanghai Dynasties, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that one, 100%.
Alright, well, the 2 teams. 2 best.
His mic cut out again. It's okay. If anyone has anything to say, please join the channel too. I'll give you guys a minute before I...
Oh my god, how long is my mic muted?
It just went out. It literally just went out. Okay, good. So I was just saying, if anyone wants to jump into Channel 2, I would love to hear your guys' feedback on the, even on the podcast idea.
Yeah.
Brody Bridges shooting 27 for 28 next game. I'm not... Okay. Do they know something we don't? Is that...
I love the confidence that Brody has in himself. I love that.
We love you. We love you, Brody. But I don't see that happening. But if anyone wants to jump into the chat, let us know your takes. I would definitely love to see some audience production. If you guys want to give us feedback on, hey, should we keep doing this? Is this a one-time thing?
Because I mean, we could turn this into a weekly thing if
Yeah,
everyone wants it to be a weekly thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear your guys.
Everyone wants to listen to us.
I mean, there's 8 people in the chat right now, so I'm not gonna complain about that. If anyone wants to like give us some feedback, maybe we'll get a Monty Ant in here at least once. I think that would be very entertaining.
I mean, I would just like to see what his thoughts are about because his ranking compared to mine, especially with some teams. Because I would like to hear him a little bit more.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I don't even know if he's in the chat right now, so I don't know. Gotta drop in.
But you know what? It's gonna be an interesting week. That I think this league has definitely. This is gonna be a week to watch. I don't think there's gonna be game of the year this week. I think that was very much already taken already. In my opinion, I think game of the year is Moscow Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Vent's corner 3 for the game. That was great. Like, he had a quiet game, and then he just hits that contested corner 3. That was a great shot, great walk-off shot.
I think another one on Athens that I kind of Moscow that I kind of breezed over. Amon Wolf. He did.
Yeah, I know.
I breezed over him, but looking at his stats, 6'4", 2-1. 6'4", 2-1-1 on 5 for 11 shooting. He was the second highest. In 14
minutes as well.
He was the second highest scorer for them. I know that he's off the bench, so those are going to be, like we talked about earlier, deflated stats. But Pinkard saying Barcelona's going to be ready. Believe that. No upset there.
I see that. I like the confidence from Jeremy. I mean, Pinkard, he's going to have his hands full, especially.
Oh, we got someone in the chat. Oh, we got A-Train!
That's the C A-Train.
Wait, how do I...
But Pinkard, I would like to see what you have for Munich, the Munich centers, especially Zaza Earl, and the big power forwards of Eric Ashley and Kylan McCall. So you've definitely got your work cut out, but I mean, a double-double performance from last game. I think if anyone can stop the Munich bigs, well, I mean, they weren't really involved, but if anyone can match up well to the Munich bids, it's probably Pinkard. He's probably one of the better centers in this league.
So we do have someone in the voice chat with us, and I am very interested to hear what he says. Shanghai's own Tony A-Train, if he wants to take the floor and give us a take too.
He is currently muted.
That's your cue.
Can I unmute him?
Bro, that's your cue. I don't know how to unmute him.
I don't either. Wait, I mean, right now he is unmuted, so that's his mic. Anyway,
let's go, Tony.
Hold on. Give me a second. I got you, Tony. Hold up.
Oh, here we go. We're working on it, Brody. We're working on it.
Alright, can you try to unmute now, Tony?
This did not work as play. Oh, he left! No! Oh, wait, he's back. Wait.
I mean, look, I've got you mute. I've got you server unmuted.
How did we did not think this through. We did not.
I thought it would just work. I don't know. I haven't done this before.
We didn't think this through.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm almost tempted to give him staff role just so he can talk.
I mean, I've added him as in advance. Like, I've given him his own permission. Like, just him. Speak.
We're working on it. We really
try
want
now. Try now, Tony. This might be gone now.
There he goes. Oh, he's back. Should we just move into the should we just move into the other chat for now?
Oh yeah, right, true. We might just move to channel 1. Hold on.
Let's just move to channel 1 so everybody can talk. Hey, look, we moved. All right. So clearly you should be able to talk in here. This isn't a private channel. I don't know if that's a... So we're just going to take a second. Tony, if you... ready to go?
There we go.
There we go!
Yeah. What's up?
Finally, we got it
Finally,
working.
20 years later.
Hey, how y'all boys doing tonight?
We're doing great, man. Good to have you here.
Hey, good to have me here too, but, you know, I just gotta say this while I'm live and all these, you know, prospects can hear me. Oh wait, can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, they can hear us.
Yeah, we can hear
you.
Okay, hold up. All right. Yeah, any prospects who's listening, Shanghai and Ford. Just wanted to y'all gotta say
I love it.
Oh, man. But on a real now, how y'all boys doing today?
We're doing
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I'm
we're
doing
doing
great,
great.
especially.
We just had it. Yeah, what's up?
I see you on Overwatch, bro. That's what I'm playing right now. Just gotta let you know.
Oh shit, am I on Overwatch?
No. I just see
Yeah, I saw you on it last night.
Oh,
I saw you
yeah,
on that
yeah.
last night.
But yeah, I just wanted to peep in and see how y'all boys doing today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, no,
man.
we doing great. Of course, I don't know how much you've been in the podcast for because we've been gone for 50 minutes. But you saw what takes.
I got it on. I heard Tony deserves his touch. 100% agree, bro. Hayden some monster to Tony. I hope they can hear this, and I stand on it. This is Tony's team.
This is Tony's team. Yeah.
Tony's team.
I'm just messing. Those my boys. I will say this while everyone also can hear me. San Paulo deserves number 1. If they can go out there and handily defeat Munich like they did, that deserves it over me. Or our team, in my honest opinion. We did beat Shanghai City pretty comfortably. Like, it was not really close until the 4th quarter when they benched Tony. Shocker. But but yeah, honestly, I would put San Paulo 1 and then Shanghai 2. But it's a definitely close start.
I mean, any Shanghai guys want to jump in here to dispute this? Or are we just going to keep quiet about that? Because me personally, if my team was number 1 and he was talking about that, I would not take that disrespect. I'm going to instigate this. No, this is going to be interesting.
Look. All I'm saying is, our team, we know how good we are. Munich knows they're nothing without Tony A-Train. I was Louisville. Guys,
wait,
dog, I ain't gonna lie. But
what are you gonna talk about Peyton Wade though? You got outscored. You weren't even top scorer. Peyton Wade with the 19.
I had 11 shots. Come on now. If I had 15 and 20 like that team, come on. Let's be real. We know I'm the best shooter in the league. Come on.
Best shooter. All right, real quick. Instigate real quick. Best shooter in the league, Peyton Wade. Hit more threes, was more efficient, scored more, and was on Watkins. Like, bro.
We're definitely instigating tonight.
My boy Peyton definitely, he did his job. He locked up the best player in the league and put up points on his head. So
yeah, I know. Hey, real talk though. I think you are the best shooter in the league. I'll be interested to see it. We'll probably get a 3-point contest going at some point.
Okay, Tony versus Peyton Wade. I'm so down for that though.
See some of the best shooters compete in that.
Can we get a dunk contest with Anthony Paul in it, please?
I will say, I mean, Shanghai's just full of shooters. Eventually, Birdie Bridge is going to get that shot going, and then he's going to knock some down. I trust in him. All faith in Shanghai shooters. That's our true name, not Shanghai Dynasty. Or, there's not going to be no Dynasty. I'll be real. I'm leaving after this season. I'm winning a champ, and then I'm going to a new team.
If you don't win a chip, are you staying or are you just leaving regardless?
Oh, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go to a new team and own that team and just be a solo player.
So
I just wanna put up stats. That's it.
Oh.
So he's very humble as well. That's great. Yeah.
Very humble.
We got a Kevin Durant in the league, ladies and gentlemen.
A rank game. I hope y'all boys have a great day. Maybe I'll pop in later if y'all are still live after this W.
All right. Best of luck. Better get that, dog.
Hey,
I catch that.
Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you running this league, and appreciate all the help, RyZe, as well. Y'all boys have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Shanghai 4.
Shanghai 4. All right. Well, so I guess we're going instigation route this time. That was thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah.
So as
definitely
Tony,
a humble man. So
I guess we got our first breaking news that Tony said he is leaving as soon as he wins. He's gone.
When he's leaving. So Tony A-Train, new team after this year. Not low to Shanghai at all. Be interesting to see if he just goes to one of the expansion teams if he wants his own team. Because, I mean, the expansion teams will definitely be looking for that star.
You know what?
And they might throw the bag at Tony A-Train to get him to come there.
You know what? If he wants to design his own team, you know, like... Just don't...
But, I mean, what we'll do in the off-season, I think we'll have a draft for all the people that comes through the Prospect League. So, like... So, like, everyone that's coming through your Prospect League, RyZe, I don't know how many years. What do you want to make? We'll just do this now while we're live. Why not?
Yeah.
What do you want to make the minimum they spend in your league? Do you want to do, like, have to have 2 seasons in the Prospect League before you can enter the draft, or, like, just 1 season?
So, if we're gonna, I was gonna base this off of the college and NCAA and what you see, and it's really only 1 year anymore if you're not counting the redshirt year, because we're not redshirting people. So I think 1 year, especially in the Prospect League, really, if you have to be the best of the best if you want to declare your first year. I would suggest 2, but if you're as confident as Tony A-Train just was right there, I could say declare in 1, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you, but you might not you might not get put in the role that you want to. I think that's definitely going to play a factor. I am very interested to see how this goes. And
I like that, how it's like, but it's literally just like college. It's like, if you're a star, you can be one and done, and you can go high pick, and you can have a good role. But if you're just, like, perhaps a good player but not a standout, perhaps staying a little bit longer would definitely help your position in a team and your draft spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was talks that we were going to do actual colleges instead of this, but we decided against it.
I mean, my main issue, though, is because custom teams saves you from copyright, because I know a couple NCAA leagues... I think it was 2K Ultimate Sim. They got about, like, 2K followers on Instagram. They're pretty big. They actually got a message from, like, some representative of NCAA of being like, well, you don't have permission to use the college names. Because they just got to that size where people actually noticed it, and they're just like, well, you're not allowed to do that. So it's...
Merchandise. Yeah. Merchandise reasons too, guys, if we want to do that.
True.
GPLshop.com, ladies and gentlemen. Don't actually Google that, because that's not a real thing. But
that's actually a good point. I mean, at some point, a website would be nice, like, and then people could kind of investigate the teams, see what's happening themselves, instead of it being based on Discord.
I might go steal someone from a different league that I know is good with the website stuff. I might just go steal him real quick, but I know he would follow me. We love him. I'm not gonna mention his name, but we love him.
But I mean, real talk, saying that though, that won't be happening until like end of season 1, and it depends how big we get, because we might kind of plateau with the new members joining, which is fine. Like, I expect that. I don't expect it to like match the same growth that we had straight away, because all that was from the DEBA. A lot of you guys, but I am expecting probably. What's like a good expectation, you think, RyZe, for like how many prospects you want, like new prospects to go into your prospect league?
So, it's interesting to me, because if we wanted to do the exact for the 6 teams was 36, which isn't a horrible number, and I think we could very easily get that, because I can't speak for you, but I have definitely gotten people in my Discord messages and other things, hey, can we join? And then I said, well, you gotta sit on a wait list. Oh, never mind. But, you know, I think once the promotion starts, and me and you can obviously work on how we want to promote and stuff like that, I think
100%.
that we will definitely get to that 36 pretty easily, in 100%. My opinion.
And I feel like each season we're going to have to keep creating some teams, because I think, especially with your Prospect League, starting off with 6 would be good for Season 1, but I think it would just be, like, good for Season 1, and Season 2 you might need to add, like another 2 or 3 or 4 teams to get up to 10.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like that idea. I mean, like, this is literally one of the first times we're talking about it, so you guys are hearing everything. This is like this is like a genuine conversation between me and him right now. That I mean,
a lot of the stuff we've talked about this podcast is like the first time we brought it up.
Absolutely. And I think it's good to have some transparency with everybody of, hey, this is what we're looking at doing possibly. Let's hear your feedback. I mean, I still want even feedback on this podcast. I kind of just came up with that on the fly because I don't know, I'm in so many big sim leagues that do it. It's kind of it's just kind of second nature to me, but I think definitely having some feedback from you guys, because we wouldn't be able to do any of this without you guys. Like, I'm obviously one of those people that I want to be, like, upfront with everybody. Like, hey, do you think we should do this, this, and this? I don't want to make decisions that people are going to hate. That, you know, this is supposed to be fun. This is not obviously competitive. There's obviously... I mean, there's definitely people who have already started talking competitively.
So. I mean, like, it's great to see because people have also brought rivalries from other leagues, especially between, like, Kyler McConnell and, I think, Bartholomew Sadowski. They've got beef from... Not actual beef, but you know what I mean. Like, they've got a rivalry going from other leagues, and it's good that they've brought them here, and they'll be talking quite a bit in the Discord chat as well.
Hey, you know what?
So it's always good to see that.
I don't know if he's here. I'm shooting my shot right now. Double champ Dame Bartholomew Sadowski is not a good champion in the All-RF. I'm saying it right now. I'm calling my shot. I'm not going to get that bash. He'll never give it to me. But... he'll never give it to me. But, you know, I think that it's definitely fun to bring... Because you didn't even realize this, that a lot of relocation football league guys are in here. I
know that was everyone, because I would say you can invite whoever you want, and then like a lot of people from the RFL were already kind of in here.
Yeah.
And then they just invited a lot of friends, and now a lot of this league is the RFL. I've never even been in it. I don't know anything about it, but like I've heard from it because so many people are in it. So.
Yeah. So I definitely think that, especially bringing, RFL guys in here, because those guys are very, very active, and I'm in it personally, so I think so I have to read this comment because this is just entertaining. This league got serious potential as long as Sanders stays 100 miles away. I didn't want to say it, but I 100% agree. I
blocked him, so he like physically cannot join the league,
and he has me blocked. So you know, there's a difference. That's a story for another time. I know there's a few people don't like in this chat. I can definitely name one person that a lot of people talk. He's been getting some eyes on him lately. Not in a good way. So I definitely think, but I agree. Yes, stay as far away as you can. Anybody else? I'm fine with it. Oh, did we get someone else? Did someone just join?
No, that was mine.
Oh, I was like, did someone just join? I was like, I was about to be thoroughly entertained that someone might make an Austin Sanders comment. But you know what?
Also, I would like to ask, Pinkett, why'd you say wait, what, why? What was that about? I'm just curious. You said wait, what, why? And I can't remember what we were talking about, which could be questionable.
I think he was maybe talking about the Sanders comment that we made.
I mean, I think he posted it before that, to be honest. But whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know what? We got everybody laughing. You know what? This is...
Yeah.
I
mean, I think it'd be also cool if some people want to run their team's Instagram. I know Rayshon Baxter at some point said he might be interested in doing it for Athens. And of course, you're doing it for Africa as well as
I'm doing the
actual league Instagram.
I'm doing the bare minimum for Africa. If anyone wants to take that over, go right ahead. I'll give you.
I was going to add about the comedy set. Oh, okay, you were right about Sanders. Well, I mean, Sanders. I mean, do you know what? Do you know what happened with the DEBA?
I mean, does he know what happened in the RSL? Is the question. Let's go even a little further back than that. I mean, we all got problems with it. Like,
well, I mean, it's because Pinkett. I mean,
yeah,
Pinkett was in the college program in the DBA, and I don't know how many of them saw, because I had a message that I sent to like everyone when I left about why I was leaving and stuff, and most of the time the international guys saw that because I had all the teams' locker rooms. I tried to put it in the league, but Sanders deleted the server. So...
Yeah. So honestly, do you want to be transparent about it? Go right ahead of what we don't have to. We don't.
A lot of the people already know that what happened. Basically, he was a very like controlling of what I wanted to do. Like he was just like, he came in being like when we first started running it, and Colin was also running the college program, and he's the reason why Colin left. And Colin had his own message that he was going to send, which is even more like got into it in more depth than I did, and I won't go into too much depth because like I mean Sanders is a fine dude, but he definitely liked having control over everything. And I remember when we got to when it got to a point where he created the server, so he automatically had the server admin. Every time I didn't agree with anything that he was doing, he just threatened to kick me and let's like end the server. And when we were first starting it out, I'm just like, oh, I'll just deal with him and just like, and I was basically like, I'm just gonna deal with him for as long as possible. And then what tipped it over was when I was streaming one of the last games. I think it was Munich versus Barcelona in the DBA, and he said in the live stream chat, "It is my league, so I can do what I want." And when he said that, I kind of snapped and I started just spewing it on the live stream. And A-Train was there. I think there was like 10 to 12 people that were in the live stream chat, and I was just like saying how controlling he is, how I haven't been able to want to do anything I wanted to, how constantly every time I'd have like any sort of advice, like what Tony said in the live stream chat right now. He wouldn't take any advice. Anytime I wanted to do anything like my way, he'd instantly rip into me saying how much I'm an idiot. We're not gonna lie, he isn't the smartest bloke. And often, I remember I spent, I think, like 4 or 5 hours just walking through the sliders, doing it with Colin, just being in a voice chat with Colin, and we were just going through the sliders. We had an Excel spreadsheet up, we got everything ready. And then Sanders comes in and is just like, no, we're using this person's sliders. And then once he uses them, he's like, oh, these sliders aren't actually good. And then he fucking did his... No, I shouldn't
No, you know what? Go right ahead. No, go right ahead. This isn't family friendly. None of this is at all of what
I mean, I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube. But anyway...
We're not getting monetized. We're not monetized.
Basically, anyway... Summing it all up, he was very controlling. He didn't let me do anything I wanted. He came in being like, oh, we'll run it as like equals, and then I'll run my pro league once I'm ready. And we're like, all right, cool. But the second he got a little bit of power, he was just like, okay, we're doing it my way. We're doing this my way. And oftentimes he would come up with things and he'd create his own problems. And something that happened with Ansu Yi, Dior Battle, who just boosted the server a couple times. He was a mod in the DBA. He was recording our college games, and I remember Sanders just ripped into him for like no reason. Well, not to no reason, but he like absolutely ripped into him, and then that forced. And then he was like, "All right, I'm not recording college anymore." And then Sanders goes to me like, "Can you record 8 games this week plus stream 4?" I'm like, "No, I can't. That's way too much." And then he basically had an argument with me because I couldn't drop everything and just like stream. I think it was record 8 games and then stream 4 games. And dude, I can't do that this week. That's too much.
I will never forget this. I will never forget this. I was sitting at my PC trying to figure out something. I almost crashed. I did the exact same thing for different reasons. But I remember you texted me. It was like 11:30 where I just crashed out of my own league. And it took me a second to process that. I was like, what? And he kind of explained to me what happened, and then I obviously said I'm not surprised because for background context, I used to run kind of a small league. Some of you were probably in it, called the RyZe Simulation League. Never again. And so that's where we all met Sanders, and he definitely was one of those people of the file corrupted on my PlayStation. So and I was like getting like annoyed with it, and he like kind of like took it out on me, and then proceeded to someone I know proceeded to like go off on him about everything, and yeah, he blocked me and never talked to me after that. So
and then I went away and I did it with him, and it's so funny because the second he was like a normal dude and he was completely fine, but the second he got that little bit of power of just like, okay, I created the server, because he just had spare time and he did it. And then the second he got that little bit of power, he just threatened me and Colin the entire time that he's going to delete the server. And it was just frustrating. And bro would DM me all day about dude, not gonna lie, his insufferable ideas. So bad every time. But I couldn't say anything about it because it was just like, he always threatened to delete it. And then it got to a point where I'm just like, okay, well, I'm sick of this. And then that's how this league came about, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to create my own. I'm going to run my own. And then RyZe was also, of course, not the greatest friend of Sanders, so I got RyZe to help me out.
And I mean, me and Max obviously worked together on the first league, the RSL. Me and him worked together, so I was more than happy to come in and say, hey, I will. He was like, if you want to come help and help run this league, and we'll figure out something for you to do. And I said gladly. I would love to.
And also talking about RyZe real quick. Bro, RyZe, you have like done so much when it's come to the graphics. Like all the graphics RyZe does, all the Instagram is RyZe. Literally, RyZe records as well. So bro is doing everything, like so much. Helps out with the Discord, helps out with the Instagram, posts shit to YouTube, like creates graphics. It's honestly incredible. And honestly, with your help, I couldn't do this without you, because what I'm doing now, it's taking up like a lot of my free time. Absolutely. And I love doing every second of it. And then you just helping me out with that extra little bit.
Yeah,
it's been amazing. And it's been so good. I can't wait to get your league starting up as well, so we can get more people in here, and it'll be great.
And y'all know I'm good for it. For if you guys have known me for a while, you guys know that I know what I have to do and how to run a league. The only reason why the other two shut down was one person was Sanders, and then the other one isn't in the server, so I'm not going to mention his name. So there was that other reason too. But I think that we have everything under control, and that we finally have just figured out what we want to do with everything. I think this league has serious potential.
So that is good, because how really now it's, because it's really up and running, how kind of easy it is to just make it like it isn't too hands-on. Like now everything's like running and stuff. We just need to record a couple of times a week, and you guys got plenty of contact. And I mean, it will eventually get to the point I do want to make games longer, because that was something that I think it was Tony A-Train brought up.
I can check that.
It
was Tony.
Yeah, Tony was like, I prefer longer games, and I would love to get to long games as well. But of course, right now, especially streaming, because I have limited time to stream it, and of course today I'm free. Hence why we're doing the podcast. But I have limited time streaming and recording, so 8 minutes is like probably the perfect for me for like doing it. But I do want to get to one point once, of course, I take on less shifts, or like, you know, once I get more free time, that's what I'm trying to say. I do want to get to full 10-minute games. That way people can get better stats. I can actually hit some of the incentives that I have for pro points.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right now, especially what Theo also mentioned, is that it's to get to the 50-point game. Like that's like probably impossible right now, because no one is taking that many shots to get the 50 points right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's probably same with 30 assists. Like that's probably just not possible with 8-minute quarters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do want to get to 10-minute quarters, and perhaps even for the playoffs, games are a little bit longer. Like we just have a couple games, and then for the playoffs, each game is 10-minute quarters. This is me just coming off the top of my head, so this might not actually.
And like I said, I can definitely jump in and help with like streaming 100%. And recording. Maybe, obviously, I have a background in commentary, so that would definitely help. And also,
also with you, RyZe, if you want to stream some games one week, just let me know, and you can just stream whatever you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, because I know you're good for commentating. You've commentated before. You did fantastic with the run that we had earlier. So if you want to stream any games, let me know, and you can happily do whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been going for 74. We've been going for over an hour right now. That's crazy.
I know. I was.
It's an hour.
Yeah, we've been talking for 74 minutes.
That fast. Yes, sir. But honestly, I'm very excited about everything that is upcoming in this league. We have been very transparent with you guys. Shout out to everyone.
I don't want to keep it like that. Like I like that most people know what's happening, how it's going. The one thing that, and I like that some people like Tony talk to me about it. It's just like, oh, how does the overall work and stuff like that. A lot of things have changed from the DBA, so that's why some people have noticed. Well, I mean, Tony and I think noticed the most about like how different his attributes were. It's because in college they like Sanders, who was running the college program, he didn't do attributes the way I wanted to do them. So everyone's kind of been scaled back to what the Global Pro League is.
Yeah,
absolutely. With attributes and overalls. So that's why there are differences.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I say that the difference is like 3 attributes or something. Like it's
absolutely.
Not a lot at all, and people won't notice much of a change. And the sliders as well. Any feedback with the sliders, because right now everyone's pretty efficient. Like I think it's like everyone's shooting about 55% from the field, which is like, which is efficient. It's better than the NBA. So I don't know if we want to tone it down a little bit, but I do like how efficient everyone is because we get high scoring games are entertaining, and people don't really get frustrated because a lot of the time people make their shots.
Absolutely. I definitely think what we have going on is definitely going to work. And if we want to expand a little bit, it is what it is. But right now, the system that we got going is working. And I can proudly say that I am very excited about that Prospect League.
I can't wait to see it as well. I think it's going to be great. But I do at some point want to, I don't know if, I mean, RyZe, you've already got a PC.
Yeah.
But I want to get to a point where I can move to PC as well. Because...
So, remind me to tell you about that, because there is some serious downsides of moving to,
Serious downsides? Okay. Well, this is just me off the head, because I like the opportunity to have mods, and then I can, change the stadiums a little bit.
So,
that's
I
the
can
only
tell
bonus
you,
that would really
for 2K24, so, you know how you can take teams away on place that you can't do that on PC.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe don't do that. I'm interested to see if they've changed it. But
okay, well then scratch that, ignore me. But like I was just thinking, because mods would be cool, because with your Prospect League you could do like a different stadium, whatever. But I mean, of course, it's gonna be a lot of work and stuff. But like,
no,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, won't do that. Because I thought about doing that. Don't do it. So yeah, I think everything's gonna go out. Let us know what you guys think in the general chat. So yeah, we love each and every one of you, and Celtics in 4. So
Celtics in 4.
Celtics in 4.
Hey, I'm also a C's fan, so it's great to see they're doing well. Yeah, well, I think we're pretty much done. We've covered a lot more than I thought we were going to cover. We kind of talked about literally everything.
Absolutely, we even Sanders somehow made it in there. I don't understand how that happened, but you know what? We'll go with it.
Exactly. We ended up talking about DBA and past and shit. But anyway, great for match week 2. We got our predictions in, so I am. So what? My picks are Moscow, Sao Paulo, Munich, Shanghai, and Sydney.
So I did Moscow, Sao Paulo, Barcelona, Shanghai, Africa.
Nice.
So
anyway, I think I would do it. I think I'm done. I think I've said everything.
Yeah, I think I've said everything enough too.
Yeah. So appreciate all you guys checking in, seeing us. Make sure you get the likes up as well, because it's always good for you guys to show your support. And
absolutely, actually, more likes gets more people to see it. So. I did forget about that. So, but I guess that's it for everything. Thank you all who tuned in. Of course, if you want to see more of this, put it somewhere. Text me, text Max. I'm always open. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I'm usually around my phone. If you just want to put it in general chat, or even if you're on the player committee, let us know. I'm interested to see. So, thank you all for the people that came out tonight. Guess I'll see y'all later. And
see you guys later.
See you tomorrow.